Because straight like that, Dave.
Shar says, "Oh, okay, selling plates." And I'm sampling plates, but I will broadcast your stuff out with no trouble. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
The prosecutor said the father executed his adult daughter over a petty argument triggered by the baby gate installation. That baby gate shouldn't be there. Yes, it should. I'm going to put it. No, you ain't. Pow, pow, pow. Pow, pow, pow. And, you know, two in the head had to come last to make sure it was done right. And I do commend you in that he at least did finish the job. Because if you're going to do a job, do it right. Even if you're going to do murder, do it right. I was watching some of the show the other day. Guy was mad he had failed the big boss. The boss came through, put up in the car. Man, I'm sorry I failed you. It's the last thing you do. Shot one time in the chest and then drove off like, you didn't even make sure he dead yet. He could have been wearing a bulletproof. He knew he messed up, so you know I'm going to have a bulletproof vest or something on. Why are you going to shoot me one time in the chest and then drive on off?
No, I mean,
finish your job.
I can't necessarily salute the finalization of that. That's definitely
just
the stance of Don, not the stance of
I'm
taking
not
over
agreeing
radio,
with shooting.
icon of success.
I'm not agreeing
that
with
ideology
shooting.
is not attached to any of those
But I'm
brands.
here to tell you that if I got to shoot you, I'm going to finish my job. If you come in my house and I shoot you and you go down, when I run past you to clear my house, I'm going to shoot you again in the head as I'm going past because I ain't going to look at you and face you twice.
Yes, it's a totally
I will
different
finish
scenario.
that job.
Totally different
The point
scenario.
is, whatever the case is, you finish the job. Even if you're going to commit homicide, if you're going to do it all the way, finish the job. That's all I'm saying. Finish the job. I mean, everybody's a good starter. I don't know many good finishers. Finish the job. Even a homicide, finish the job. Shara said that dad was crazy. He had some pent-up resentment built up with his daughter for years that's crazy. That is crazy, Shara. He is a fool.
Yeah, he's nuts. And I mean, you
And
know what?
Shara said, I agree with you, Sid.
We all have situations with our babies. You know, I just dealt with something with my daughter the other day that completely unhinged me. But at the end of the day, you know, as a parent, one thing I had to say to myself is I got to protect myself. And sometimes you got to protect yourself from your own children. You know what I mean? So when your kids are not making the right decisions and they're doing things that are not something that you necessarily find to be good decisions and feasible stuff, just remove yourself from it. You know what I mean? And like I told my baby, I said, you know, if that's how you want to make your decisions, then cool. That decision is completely yours. But just understand I'm going to back up from this point. Because if I stay involved, then what's going to happen is I'm going to continue to beat that dead horse. You know what I mean? To try to get you to understand some things. And you can't do that. I mean, you can, but it's not going to work. It's not going to get you any good results. So, you know, yesterday I just called my baby up and I said, you know what? I just want you to know I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here for you. I stand by you 800%, you know. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? So we're all adults. We're all, we're all, getting into that point. Like my babies are growing up, right? So I got to be able to be okay with what I'm not okay with. Keith Wade, what's going on, bro?
I ain't okay with that. What's up, Big Daddy Keith, K-E-F.
Don the Killer.
Big Daddy Keith. That's got to be Martinez. We know it. Let's let it, boy. I'm like this, Ed. I think that everybody should be allowed to choose their own mentor. Because I'll help you as far as you let me help you. But to borrow a line of Lady Di, Dinah Morgan, CEO of Icon of Success, I'm not going to go to war for you while you stay home.
I like that, yeah.
I'm not going to go to war for you while you stay home. Which means I'm not going out there and fighting like the Dickens left, right, and upside down. You sitting on the couch and you ain't got a dog in the fight, but it's your fight.
Yeah, you chilling, yeah.
Which means that when that begins to happen, if I get that feel for it, that means that you no longer want me as your mentor, which is fine. Because now you get to let life choose your mentor. Heaven help you. Because at least with me, you might get an evil stare at one of them Don stares. I might talk junk to you. I might call you stupid because you're all being stupid. But the one thing I won't do is kill you. Life doesn't give such a guarantee. Life will bleed you and leave you sitting on the sidewalk there dead, DRT. So you pick your mentor, even as your child, when they reach a certain age, said they have to pick their mentor and face the consequences thereof. Because I'm not going to dig you out of this hole that you made for yourself. You pick your mentor. You face your consequences. My name Bennett. I ain't in it. I'll stand by. We ain't going to talk about it all day long either.
Nicole, what's going on, family?
I have quite a few of those that made mistakes. One of them I told over and over again in his situation for about a year and a half. We talked. I mean, I spoke bluntly. Told me, and Alibaba, how you doing? I told him that what
Art.
you're doing is one of the stupidest things you got going on. I mean, I told him bluntly, and he ran and did his way anyway. And within about 4 months, it all fell apart, like I knew it would. And I walk around looking sad and pitiful, like I knew he would. And no, we still ain't talking about it, like he knew we would. Okay, you know, I'm not doing it because I told you on your own. You made the decision on your own. You got it.
Yeah, be consistent.
Be consistent. You look. You got it.
You got it.
So deal with it, because I did my part.
Then.
We'll do it then. Now to my real estate people out there, Sister Karen, how you doing, girl? Good to have you, Karen. And Tamika, that's my girl too. That's two sisters that good as gold. Note that one time. What's one time, Shari? What's one time? Now for my real estate people out here, I got a real estate story for you. Down in South Florida. You know how people go down to the courthouse and buy a piece of property on a tax lien, pay off the taxes, I got this property, and they saw this nice villa that they were buying. It was about a $177,000 villa. They bought it for $9,000, which is a tax lien on it. And they pretty much did this sight unseen, right? Well said. What had happened was, man who snagged a $177,000 villa for $9,100 now believes he was scammed by the Florida county that put the property up for auction for unpaid property taxes. The villa, I'm always sweet for y'all with Sister Karen. I can't get anywhere close to you and your sister. Y'all both make me smile, and they're cute too. Both of them good-looking families here. Oh, yeah. I ain't figured out which one is meaner, though. But look, they're strong women. And I did with a whole bunch of alpha women. Now, hear that, Shar? A whole bunch of alpha women. So I'll chop you. But strong, smart, good-looking, determined, all of the above. But said they went down to check out the villa they bought, and what had happened was they didn't buy the villa. They bought a 1 foot by 100 strip of land that separates two villas. They bought a piece of property that's 1 foot wide and 100 feet long that goes in between two villas. They bought that one strip of land is all they bought, with two mailboxes sitting on it.
For what? Like,
They thought it was a villa because when they had the picture on the website, it had this villa up there. So they said, I got a $9,000, a $177,000 villa for $9,100. Let's get this thing. And they got it.
Yeah, let's get
and they
it.
get down there, and it turns out that the deed was actually for the 1 foot wide, 100 foot long strip of land with two mailboxes sitting on it. That's all. That's what they ended up buying.
The only thing it could house was the two mailboxes.
That's the only thing it could house. But it did go through the garage of one of the villas, which means they could literally move the people off the garage if they wanted to.
Oh, fancy.
But what good would that do?
Fancy.
The land, which holds two mailboxes, starts at the curb and goes under a wall separating the garages of two adjoining villas that extends to the back. He asked Broward County to void the deal and return his money. The county official said the state does not allow for refunds.
I'd be like, well, do y'all have at least a crew that's gonna cut this grass right here? This little patch.
It's your property.
This little strip.
It's your property.
Ah, that's right.
You know the city can come out and write your ticket for your 1 foot by 100 foot strip of gas not being cut. They can do this, man. You do it then.
We'll do it then.
Holden said he submitted his bid based on the property appraiser photos showing the villa being the parcel. The appraiser's website and information on the county's website showed no villa or building value. So he looked at one site which showed a building, the other site showed no building. He should have looked at the county site. And welcome, Sister Olivia, how you doing? And Shari says, we all pay the cost for ignorance. Yes, you do. That's a serious cost for $9,100 worth, because the county said, you ain't getting nothing back. Brother James, how you doing, and welcome. That's crazy, but true. All right, sis, let's go. And y'all going to like this story. It's another good, I do have another positive story. It's funny, but positive.
Okay.
Because we all like our kids to be smart.
No doubt.
We want our kids to be educated and learn things and do things. How old is your youngest son, Sid?
4.
Perfect age. We got a 4-year-old story. Minnesota boy, age 4, takes the great-grandfather's vehicle for a joyride after craving candy. A 4-year-old took the car for a joyride.
First of all, like,
Char, you crazy.
this
Char
makes
said,
absolutely no sense.
Char said he need to change the 2 villas rent for using his airspace.
Right, yeah.
That literally he could, yes.
Yeah.
A 4-year-old took the grandfather's car for a joyride. A 4-year-old Minnesota boy was hankering for some candy on Tuesday apparently, and couldn't wait to get the sweet treats, and instead took matters into his own small hands, borrowing his grandfather's vehicle for a ride to satisfy his yearning.
But yeah, but at the end of the day, like a 4-year-old, wait, like you got to open the door, you got to get in the car, your feet can't reach the pedals, nor can you see over the dashboard.
Well, let's
So
see
I'm
what we
trying
got
to
here.
figure out,
Said
like, what type of car is
the
this dude
boy
got?
named Sebastian got behind the wheel of his grandfather's Hyundai Santa Fe
Okay,
and took off, even though he could barely see above the steering wheel. After leaving his grandfather's house, Sebastian drove through some neighborhood streets before turning into a busy University Avenue during morning rush hour.
Like, this must be a long 4-year-old.
Look, I'm telling you, to the gas station because I wanted to have some Reese's, said the 4-year-old.
Hey, listen, first and foremost, let's go ahead and give him a super shout out just because the boy knows what he wants and he's willing to go get it.
The SUV was driving erratically at speeds of 10 to 15 miles per hour, pulling into a gas station parking lot where authorities quickly met him. Along the way, several mailboxes were destroyed. The vehicle clipped a tree, which broke off a piece of the bumper in the neighborhood's lawn. Officials said no one was injured during the joyride. The 4-year-old was able to get behind the wheel after using his grandfather's walker to grab the keys from the hook on the walk hooks.
Yo, this kid is
and
everything.
then climbed into the driver's seat, driving off when no one was looking.
This kid
he
is
knew
like,
how to crank a car.
This
at
kid
4.
is one of the Goonies, man. Like, you remember them kids? Y'all remember the Goonies? This is one of them. This is like the leader.
He watches everything people do and he'll repeat it. Said, yes, he will. Oh my goodness. This little dude is on it. Fortunately, nobody got hurt.
I ain't mad at you.
The car and a couple of mailboxes probably suffered.
Right.
And Charlie said, that's what I was thinking. Said, how big was this 4-year-old? How far did he actually get?
You know?
Still could have turned out very bad. Could have been fatal for sure. Absolutely. It could have been all of the above.
Could have been all that, yeah.
But you do have to appreciate the initiative of a 4-year-old getting that done. Mm-hmm. And you know, since he is 4, ain't no charges to be made. None of that. So we're good.
Right.
Let's give another positive
You
story.
couldn't press charges on a 4-year-old anyway.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
What accountability will a 4-year-old have?
None.
He was picking on me. He meant he's 4.
He's 4. Well, he stole my car. He's 4.
I was watching one of my little judges shows, and basically, you had one big dog, I'm going to say a Rottweiler, killing one little dog, some kind of poodle, right?
Yeah.
And the woman's excuse, well, the poodle kept looking at my dog and antagonizing him. Man, we are not going to get into the facial expression of a poodle. We're not going to do this. We're not going there.
Like, what are we even talking about right now?
Yeah,
Facial expressions of a poodle.
We're not going to figure out whether this dog, what's up, Tiffany? How you doing? We're not going to figure out whether this dog was antagonizing you and your dog.
Right.
They're dogs. We're not going into this.
They're dogs, man. What are we talking about?
And unfortunately for them, I think they're on Judge Judy. You know, that ain't going good. Judy Shalynn ain't going for that nonsense to begin with.
Oh, she's already snappy.
Oh, yeah. What you I love Judge Judy.
Super snappy.
Look, she made me have respect for old Jewish women. Shalynn? Oh, yeah. You better know it. Let's give a sad story, but a positive story nonetheless. It's sad, but a positive. What you laughing about?
I always laugh when I hear Caucasians, you know, and the whole Jewish thing. I always laugh.
Oh, Lord. Leave it alone, boy.
I do. I always laugh.
Leave it alone, boy.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to
leave it alone, boy.
I'm not. I think
We're
it's
going
fine.
back to Minnesota. What was our first Minnesota story?
I don't know. What happened in Minnesota?
Let's see. The first Minnesota story was Houston, New Hampshire. The first one. New Jersey. Where's my other Minnesota story? I've lost my other Minnesota story, but that was the first Minnesota story.
Oh, Lord. ADHD moment.
But nonetheless, a second Minnesota
Me and Lady Di
story.
rubbing off on you, Di.
Dude, y'all have no idea. ADD people, y'all just killing me.
Tip, how's work? How's everything?
Dad drowns, gave his life while saving his 3-year-old son who fell in the lake.
That's what you do.
Minnesota dad drowned while saving his 3-year-old son who fell in the lake. Christopher Schultz, 31, was at Detroit Lakes in Minnesota Saturday night when his 3-year-old fella fell from a bridge into the water. Schultz jumped into the water and began to struggle while keeping his child above the water. Bystanders went into the water and brought the toddler to the shore, but the father never resurfaced. The child survived with non-life-threatening injuries The father was found at 9:07 p.m. and taken to a hospital where he was declared dead. See, folks, a parent, you give all you have for your kid.
You do, yeah.
You're supposed to do that.
You're supposed to, yeah.
You're supposed to do that. And I know so many parents that don't do that, so it's actually insulting to anybody else.
And you know what? Funny enough, well, not funny enough, but speaking of parents that, get in those compromising situations and give it all, I got to give a super shout out to Drayvon Amez. You know what I mean? Drayvon Amez there in Phoenix, the guy that was the victim of the harassment of Phoenix police the other day. The whole situation went down. I guarantee if you would have saw the video.
Was that the one with the shoplifting?
Yeah.
I got questions about that, yes.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say.
I
know even you would have had some issues with that because it just wasn't executed right.
Well, I can see situations where that could be justified. What I couldn't see at all. And we're talking about the people, those are the ones where they may have had the kid shoplifting, maybe the father shoplifting.
Yeah, no,
and
it
they
was
came
no
out with the gun.
It was.
And the kid ain't shoplifting, the kid just grabbed the toy.
Yeah, the little girl just grabbed the toy and walked out. The parents didn't see it. Dad was in front, mom was behind. She was holding a 1-year-old, and then she had the 4-year-old, and the 4-year-old was walking out or whatever. So they go to their vehicle, drive out of the parking lot of the mall. Police pulled into their apartment, which was a little ways away from the mall, and pulls in behind them. And as soon as one officer gets out of the car, he immediately gets out, yelling obscenities and expletives, and then has his gun drawn as well. And the father, Drayvon was just basically like, listen, man, we didn't even notice she took it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even have to approach the vehicle like that.
Well, no, you never know what you're going to have with a vehicle. That's not a problem. I don't have a problem with the gun drawn.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the gun drawn. I shouldn't.
You should.
Because you never know what you have in the car. That's not my problem with it. I'm going to tell you what my problem with it is, said.
That's foolish.
Because I don't know what was said, what was done. I couldn't see that. But my problem is not the gun being drawn. That I don't have an issue with.
That's a threat.
I don't care.
That's a threat.
My problem is not the gun being drawn.
Okay.
My problem is this. It's a police thing. If I lay hands on you, you go to jail. If I lay hands on you, you go to jail.
Even if the person is compliant?
If I lay hands on you,
even if the person is
compliant, you
compliant.
go to jail. Right, said? Now, let me finish, though. Said,
right.
No, you don't know what I ain't finished yet.
Well, you said right, said.
If I lay hands on you, you go to jail.
Okay.
If we get into a scuffle, what about to lay hands on you, whatever to get you in, you going to jail. What didn't happen here is they went to aggressive force and nobody went to jail. That tells me that you did something way wrong.
Wait, what?
The people
That's
do not
the
go to
issue?
jail. That's the issue. Because when you've got a real charge,
Said
hear me out.
crack.
When you've got a real charge, you lock them up. They didn't lock them up, which means they had no real charge.
Yeah, they had no real charge.
That's my point.
Yeah.
They didn't lock them up. They had no real charge. Because when you got a real charge, you lock somebody up. You did not lock them up. You know it's going to be a volatile situation. You didn't lock them up because you had nothing real to lock them up for.
So
that's the problem.
So the inception of the police officers is not an issue to you.
I don't know enough detail. I don't know what they saw when they came up, so I can't say what that.
This is what happened. This is what happened because it's all on video from top to bottom. Right? When they pulled up, when the officers got out of the car, the young lady and the young man had windows rolled down. They weren't moving vigorously. They were both sitting in, passenger and driver. You know what I mean? When they approached the vehicle, the officer, like I said, he just went off the handle, just yelling at him and all that, and even had his, gun drawn, which to me is an issue. But at the end of the day, everything that he asked them to do, they complied with, except for put the baby down. Like the young lady was yelling, listen, I can't put my child down. The ground is hot, and it's a 1-year-old baby. So she can't walk, she can't move around like like all of us can. So, I can't do that. So, in that regard, Drayvon and his family, they've asked for $10 million against the city. And also the primary officer that was in that case, they're asking for him to be fired. Because right now they just took them off, Beats or whatever?
Yeah.
They took him off the beat and
put
put him at the desk.
Until they investigate. That's
Right,
normal.
put him on the desk. You know what I'm saying? So,
but my issue is still, I don't know the gun stuff because I don't know what they saw when they walked up. I can't say. So I can't say if that's right or wrong.
Cat D, Great Morning Sheikah, what's going on?
I've seen many situations to where it looked like nothing, but I don't know what the people ran across before they got to their office ended up dead because it looked like a nothing. Your tag was out. Well, sir, you boom, boom. You never know when that happens. So I can't say with that. But what I can say is when I've got something to lock you up for, said I lock you up.
Right,
and if I did not lock you up because I didn't have anything to lock you up for, which means I've wasted everybody's time and went over. I've wasted everybody's time because that's if you and I get into it. I stop you on the street, said.
Right.
And you and I get into it. I have to scuffle with you to get you in handcuffs while we investigate what we got. Because I scuffle with you, I promise you, you will wake up in the Mecklenburg County Jail. Because if you complain about what we do, you're going to make that complaint from the jail. Because I had a real charge to charge you with. These people had no real charge. That's the problem I got. Which means that you had faulty stuff you were playing with. And I got an issue with that because they went way too far for faulty stuff. If that makes sense.
Okay.
It's shoplifting. At the best, in Mecklenburg County, said that's a citation. We barely even arrest anymore for shoplifting. That's a citation. Unless you got a long rap sheet or we can't tell you're homeless, we don't know who you are, so we write your citation to a homeless person, you don't know where to find him, so you got to go and arrest him. Other than that, you're more than likely going to get a citation. So why am I going to draw guns, put everything on everybody else, do all this stuff for nothing? That's the problem I have. That strikes at law enforcement all day long. You failed to make an arrest, which means you had no arrestable offense. That's an issue. That is an issue. Let's see. Let's give two stories. Y'all want this crazy one or the honorable one? Which one you want first?
Let's do crazy first.
You asked for crazy first.
Kid, what's going on, family?
And what's up, Brother Bower? How you doing?
Josh, great rising, bro. Super shouts out to you, man.
This one is in Alaska. And this one is a crazy story.
All right.
And folks, watch your kids on computers.
Man.
Watch your kids on. That's my story. Y'all can see what I mean. Alaska teen carries out a plot to kill her best friend after a man met her online, offered her $9 million for pictures and photos of her committing the murder. Cynthia Hoffman, age 19, was killed on June 2nd by a gunshot wound to the back of her head in Thunderbird Falls near Eklutna River, about 27 miles northeast of Anchorage, Alaska. Denali Bremer, 18, was arrested and charged with murder. The two teens consider each other best friends. 4 other teens and the man who solicited the murder were also arrested in the case. Mm-hmm. Bremer allegedly planned the murder after a man she met online told her she would be paid millions of dollars for evidence of her murdering someone. So I meet you online, said, look at said, I give you millions of dollars. You go give me evidence you murdered someone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
What you gonna do with that?
Yeah, totally not going to jail.
Authorities say Darren Schillmiller, 21 of Indiana, created a fake online persona as a millionaire from Kansas named Tyler,
good stuff, Josh. Let me hear it.
and began a relationship with Bremer. The two began planning several crimes in exchange for money, including rape and murder of someone in Alaska.
Okay. And great morning to you too, Sheikah.
After being catfished by Schillmiller, Bremer chose Hoffman as her victim and recruited 4 friends, Caden McIntosh, 16, Caleb Leland, 19, and 2 other unnamed juveniles. Mm-hmm. So now I got me plus 4 other people that's got some guy I ain't ever met online saying, I'll send you money if you go show me evidence you murdered somebody. They done picked up 4 other people to help murder somebody with a promise I'm going to give you $9 million, which nobody gives proof of that. And I don't know if $9 million going to get me locked in death penalty. That ain't worth it for me. I can't even spend the money. So no. Bremer and two teens hatched a plan to take Hoffman off to Thunderbird Falls after a guise of a hiking trip, and that's where they found her hand. That's where they bound her hands and feet and mouth with duct tape and shot her in the back of the head. They dumped the body in the Eklutna River. Bremer kept her end of the bargain by sending videos and photos of Schillmiller via Snapchat during the crime. After the murder,
wait a minute, she sent it through Snapchat? So now you sending it through a public platform. When now this, and y'all do realize, per Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, whatever social media platform you choose to use, once you put those pictures on there, you no longer have the proprietary rights of those pictures. You actually release that. Because what you're saying once you put those pictures onto those sites is you're saying, listen, it's okay for you guys to use those pictures for whatever it is that you want, whether it be for evidence, whether it be for promotional purposes, whether it be for all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? And the FBI and police are definitely attached
It's
to all of
like
these social
rolling
media
your
places.
trash can out to the curb on trash day. Mm-hmm. As soon as that trash can hits the curb, it's no longer within your private domain.
Yeah,
Anybody wants to go in your trash can can go in your trash can.
Yep.
Anybody want to put trash in your trash can can go in.
They can.
Anybody want to hide drugs in your trash can
They
can do that.
can.
Anybody want to hide a body in your trash same thing, okay, folks? The same thing.
Right, yeah,
All that's the same. They can do all of this. After the murders, the teens destroyed some of Hoffman's personal belongings and texted her family saying they dropped her off at a nearby park. Police said there was no evidence Hoffman was sexually assaulted. Upon questioning by police, Bremer confessed to the murder for money.